From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Beres here on a Monday. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I'm glad to have you here with us today. And I want to hit you with a programming note real quick before we get to the topic of conversation today. As you know, jury selection begins in the Vanderbilt rape case just across the way here at the Birch Building Criminal Courthouse. That'll begin this morning at 9 o'clock. Now, jury selection in that process is such that's pretty much off limits to the media. We do have a reporter over there that will be following it and covering it. But our gavel-to-gavel coverage will not begin until the jury is seated. Once it's seated and once the jury is given its instructions, then both sides, prosecution, defense, get to give their opening statements. We're going to be there for all of that. But that, in my opinion, likely won't happen probably until tomorrow. There's a chance if they seat a jury, it could start this afternoon, in which case our gavel-to-gavel coverage will start then. I will be here with News Channel 5 legal analyst Nick Leonardo. As you know, we've done these trials before. We'll welcome all of you to watch, email us, call in through the whole process from beginning to end. It's going to be a very, very interesting trial on a very serious topic. So we'll be covering that for you, but it's not starting this morning because they haven't even started over there with jury selection until 9 this morning, and that's going to take at least a day. So we'll have our reporter there follow that process, but our gavel-to-gavel coverage will likely start tomorrow morning. So tune in for that then, but right now tune in for our guest. First of all, she didn't think anyone noticed, but notice my new thing is my tie is going to match the color of my pen. Notice pink, pink. Allison Fields, our veterinarian extraordinaire, had her doubts.
Well, now that you've told everybody, they'll notice.
Well, no, I wanted to point it out, but...
No, it's good.
Yeah,
Different
right.
pinks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's a little brighter, but pink and pink.
Pink and pink.
Okay, so I just
good. It's a good thing.
Go that route.
We'll see if you can. Y'all keep him on task and make sure he does that every day.
I've got a yellow pen ready for a yellow tie next week. We'll see if I can pull that off.
Maybe.
Blue shouldn't be bad. I wear mostly blues. Well, enough about my ties. This is Allison Fields, a veterinarian, with us this morning. It's nice to have you.
Thanks. I missed you last time I was here.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know where I was. I was on vacation, and I made sure I'd be back for this today.
I'm so glad.
And we're going to open up the phone line 737-7587. Was going to just ask you at this time of year, what do you want to throw out there just at the outset for our viewers?
Well, it's starting to get cold, so everybody knows that we need to have shelter for our pets, fresh water.
The water bowl actually froze yesterday, the one we have outside.
So that's another topic. We need to make sure that if we have outside water bowls that we go out every day, sometimes a couple times a day when it gets really cold, and make sure that they're not frozen over. Dogs can dehydrate in the middle of winter because their bowls are frozen over.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
They sell now these fabulous heated water bowls. You can get them at, Tractor Supply, I think, Co-op, kind of places like that. And you plug them in and they don't boil water or anything, but they just keep enough of a temperature in there so that they don't freeze, which is nice.
I was going to ask you, and we can get more into the weather and the basics, and most people, I think, if you're good pet owners, know some of these things, but you're right, sometimes you forget about the dog bowl. Chris Conti did an interesting story last week, if you were watching our newscast, about this dog that I think had been a bomb-sniffing dog overseas and had worked with our soldiers. I don't have all the details on the name of that. I think it looked like a black lab, the picture, but it came back, and the story he had, the dog somehow had pulled or torn its ACL or something like this, and because of his story, some money was raised to do that surgery. I guess it's like in a human or something, right? In terms of you torn ACL, you can't walk on that leg. That's it. What kind of surgery is that? I mean, is it a pretty standard thing can be done? I just had never heard an ACL tear in a dog.
We've been fixing those for years.
Really?
I don't know that I would call it a standard surgery. Not every veterinarian does it, but a lot of veterinarians do it. All of the board-certified surgeons do them, and there's a couple different ways that you can go about fixing those, different techniques and different surgical approaches. But it's probably one of the most widely done orthopedic surgeries in dogs across the country.
Typically happens just wear and tear, like, or is it a blow to the knee?
They'll go out and, be chasing a ball or doing something, and they'll be running and they'll turn real quickly, and just like people do. It's not usually a blow to the knee like in football players or something, but they'll hurt it just from, taking a quick turn or hitting a pothole in the yard or, something like that.
That's cool. I was going to tell you too, we have a new dog. Thought I'd throw this out here. If you followed me on Facebook at all, you saw it. Now remember, we had adopted from Agape June Pug, just the most wonderful little dog, and she ended up getting pug encephalitis, some awful, awful disease that's incurable, and the poor thing died, and it was heartbreaking. And Agape and others had been aware of this and continued to watch for us and would call every once in a while a pug came into play. There was a pug abandoned in some apartment complex. I think it was in Sumner County or something like this. We don't know. Whoever took care of it did a great job. I have a suspicion it was like an elderly woman or gentleman who had this dog, just a year old, and either had to go to a nursing home or maybe passed away. And his craphead family just showed up, cleaned out his stuff, and just said, well, let's just leave the dog here. And the dog was just left in the apartment. Finally, a cleaning crew came, and it was covered in fleas and hungry and all this. And I did I say craphead family because I meant that? Whoever left the dog is a craphead. But beyond that, this cleaning lady took it in. They took it, treated it. It's about this big, full-grown pug, big eyes. We named her Betty Davis.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, the thing that's stunning to me is any dog that's abandoned or mistreated just boggles my mind. But this is the coolest dog. She's just the only problem is she snores as bad as I do.
Pug.
Yeah, she's a pug. Awesome. The most cuddly, sweet. She gets along with our other two dogs. She's small. She's just wonderful, wonderful creature. I mean, and we basically just said, well, you want to see it? And she came out holding it for us. So we had already been approved. We didn't have to go in through anything with it. And here's this dog shivering. They just taken it from, and we just took it right there without even spending time with it. And it is the best dog. She's only a year old, and she's only about this big, and she had clearly already had puppies once.
Oh.
And I don't know how she had puppy. Maybe it was one. She's so small for a full-grown pug, but she's awesome.
So Beetlejuice likes her?
Beetlejuice is good. You know, he kind of, and Rocky just, puts up with her. As long as he doesn't have to share his kibble with her, he's okay. And anyway, just adopt dogs, go through the shelters.
Yes.
Agape. This dog is fantastic.
Good.
She is great. And my wife loves her, and we wanted a replacement for June Pug. She could be June Pug's sister the way she acts.
Isn't that funny?
It's just great. Anyway, I thought I'd tell you. I know you always like to ask.
That's awesome.
All right, let's take a call or two before we go to the break. Line's open, by the way, 737-7587. Allison Fields ready to take your phone calls. If you have questions or comments about your pets, would you take a call from someone who had, say, a pet cobra?
No. Well, I'd take the call.
Would you be able to answer? Like, let's say the cobra had an abscess on its side.
I think it's illegal to own cobras.
Okay, but still, you have a Hippocratic oath that even though it's illegal, would you let that cobra die from the abscess on the side?
More than likely, yes. What am I supposed to do? I am not a snake handler, especially not a cobra handler.
But this is
there are other veterinarians.
This is one of God's
out there.
creatures.
I will put them in touch with another veterinarian who can help.
Okay, so you would find a way to save that cobra's life. Okay.
I'm not doing it.
Okay. Have you ever removed any teeth from like fish, like a piranha? Like if a piranha had an abscess tooth?
Are you smoking crack?
It's Monday, and I'm not, but I've been drinking lots of coffee. All right, let's go to Darlene. Darlene, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Darlene. How can we help you?
morning.
Get us back on track here because I'm out of control, and she's going to punch me.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay, go ahead.
We have adopted a German Shepherd mix from an animal shelter, and he is 2 years old, and he has separation anxiety. He is very, very scared of storms, which we have done the Thunder Coat, and it works very well. But the separation anxiety is only with me. When my car leaves, and I'm in it, he is going to do his best to dig out under the fence to try to follow me. We have got stakes up everywhere around our fence to try to keep him in. And one day, me and my mom had to leave, so I left him in the house, and you can only imagine what happened to my house when I come back. What can I do for separation anxiety?
Well, that's a great question, and it can be a very damaging, as you've discovered, issue. The best thing to do is to go talk to your veterinarian and ask them either for a referral for a trainer who deals specifically with problem dogs. I'm not saying that he's a problem dog, but he has a problem. And there's also several behaviorists here in the Middle Tennessee area, which are veterinarians who have not only gone to veterinary school, but they have gone and done a residency for another 4 years in behavior. And so they can give you the tools and kind of exercises to do with him, and I don't mean like calisthenics, but things to do when you're leaving to kind of calm him. And then also they can write prescriptions for medications that can be very helpful while we're doing this behavior modification so that they get better. A lot of times they don't have to stay on the medication long term, but it helps while we're trying to teach them not to do these things. So your veterinarian's the first place to start, and then I would, you can ask for a referral to a behaviorist or a trainer, and you just need to be selective in your trainer. We're not looking for a trainer to, sit, stay down. We're looking for a trainer who deals with specific behavior problems.
Oh,
but I hope that helps.
We've tried, crating him and everything, but it works very well. But he gets, he gets real nervous and all of that. But it's hard to, for me to have to crate him every time. I just gonna run up to the store and all of that. But,
sure.
Right. Well, and if it's working in the crate, you just need to make the crate a happy place for him and give him a treat when he gets in it and reward him when you come home and he's been good in the crate. A lot of times if the crate's cutting it, then you may be good there. But if not, you really need to talk to somebody, and it's hard. A lot of veterinarians, including myself, we're good at some behavior, but there are cases that my just giving you advice and information may not work specifically for your dog, and it really takes somebody talking to you, witnessing the dog, seeing the dog's behavior to give you the tools that you need to help him change. But I would definitely start with your regular veterinarian.
Do some dogs just take longer than others? I'm sure the answer is yes, to adapt, because it seems like after a while they're going to learn eventually that you come back. Come back.
They either learn that or it gets worse. They're never coming back.
But every time you do, so what? Are they just dumb?
They don't have a big time-space continuum knowledge.
So they cannot.
I mean, it's like when you leave your house to go to the grocery store and you come home, your dog's really excited to see you. When you leave for a week and you come home, your dog's really excited to see you.
So they don't know how long it is.
I think dogs are very smart. I have a dog. I love dogs.
Some are smarter than others.
But I think that their ability to tell time, now they can of course tell you when it's dinner time. They all can. I don't know how that works, but they know when it's 6 o'clock. But I think that just because you always come back, they may not remember that you came back last time, and all they know is you're leaving. Oh my gosh, you're leaving. So I mean, it's like your children with the babysitter. I mean,
no, you're right. And the kids the same way. I guess.
Right.
I really like your suggestion about trying to make the kennel a friendlier place for them, because now Rocky and Juice are really used to it. We're getting the new dog used to the kennel. She doesn't like it initially, but boy, I'll tell you what. Now sometimes at the end of the day, those kennels have become their safe place.
Right.
And it's almost like I've looked around once or twice, and all of a sudden, where's Rocky? And I look, and he's sitting in the kennel with the door open.
He's like ready for bed.
Yeah, and it's almost he's looking at me too, because we do give them a treat when they go in.
Right.
So when they go in, they get a treat. When they come out, they get to go out and go do their business outside. But it's something that they like.
Yeah.
And it took a while to get there, but don't give up, Darlene. And as she said, there are people that can help you get that way.
Yeah, and when you have a problem like this, truly, it is only going to get worse unless we get some help and some changes. You've done great with a thunder shirt. That's great. I think you're willing to do whatever you need to do, but I think you may need a little bit of guidance in how you go about it.
Sure, but you can overcome it. Listen, we'll take a break on that note. If you're there on hold, Jim and others, stay there. We'll be back. The phone lines are open, 737-7587. Allison Fields is our veterinarian. Any questions about your pets? And lots of stuff to talk about. We'll be back right after this.